Okay, so allotment video diary 3rd of May, Sunday. Not been that wonderful a day, but it's okay. Anyway, so starting from the corner, you can see now is the strawberries have all been weeded and are looking healthy. Now we've had some rain, I can now get on with digging all of that area which is wanted for onions. The artichokes are coming on nicely, rhubarb we're eating. The rain has been wonderful for the garlic. The garlic is growing nicely. Peas and beans are doing okay. So the broad beans here are reasonable. Mange 2 and the peas will come out from underneath this heavy duty netting, and I'll put it against stakes with chicken netting so it can climb up the chicken netting. French beans are now coming through, so this all now needs hoeing and tidying up. My borlotti beans don't appear to be surfacing. Might be too early for them, or it might just be that was old seed. Peas are okay. Now it's May, I will plant my runner beans, or sow the runner bean seeds. As you can see, because we've been working at home, this is looking a little untidy today. 2 rows of broad beans have now been planted, and then we now progress. So the raspberries that are in this jungle here all need cleaning up, and this patch from here to the strawberries, I expect to dig this next week, ready for the onions to go into. I need to hunt the apple trees and get rid of Tony's encroaching blackberries. Some of the seeds are now starting to come through, so you can see we've got lettuces coming along nicely. I think we've got turnips, carrots and various other things are not showing through yet. I think we've got some spinach coming through, and the potatoes are now starting to come through. So they're on their way. Very interesting to see how this develops over the next couple of weeks. But I think this is getting to that stage of the year where it will all take off. I have the feeling that this is going to stay wild, even though we've got the help of COVID. This may not end up being transformed too well. If we go over to the area which was completely wild, that's now been completely dug over and has had mounds of manure put onto it. So the new strawberry bed has been planted, and we now have 2 rows of summer raspberries, and we have 2 gooseberries, a black currant and a red currant. These raspberries will need to be staked. They'll have large posts and wire put up to hold them up. The strawberries, I think, will do very much better here than the other strawberry bed. The other strawberry bed is now at its year where it will do okay, but it hasn't had that start. The polytunnel is now heading towards being fully planted. I decided that because the weather had been so good, I would plant it up. So what you can see here are us hardening off, and these are now going to go back into the greenhouse. These are all the onions, sweet corn and squashes, which will be planted out. And in the polytunnel now, and this is now going to be watered, so Sunday 3rd of May is very early for me to be planting out plants. Now these plants should be, I'm going to go down and show you the size of these. That's quite risky. I hope that they will not suffer but the polytunnel has been so warm and the ground is so warm, I'm taking the risk, and instead of potting them on, I'm growing them as they are. So already planted, we've got cucumbers here, a couple of peppers, melons, 36 tomatoes, 7 different varieties, more cucumbers there, and we've got some supermarket basil that we potted on, and also some supermarket coriander that we potted on. These are all now going to be watered this evening, and we'll see what happens. At the far end of the polytunnel, I think I've planted out a couple of my Nigel's chilies. These are a long red chilli, quite sweet, obviously hot. The longer, after you pick them, the longer you leave them, the hotter they seem to get. So there's a lot of Cuore de Bue tomatoes. That's going to be interesting to see what happens, but hopefully they will prosper. But the ground is good, lots of muck, and in the greenhouse itself we made a potting up table here at the right height. You can see all the onions, so I don't know what we've got here, maybe 300 onions. And in the polytunnel itself, in the greenhouse itself, we have all our squashes, courgettes, winter veg, some basil there which actually desperately looks like it wants potting on. You can see it's going yellow, and melons, a few more tomatoes, and there's the Western sunflowers. Okay, I'll do another one next week.